Hi crafty friends, it's Tracy Hines, aka Nanner Banana. And in today's video, we are making these really cute stuffed pockets for the Christmas journal series I'm working on. I will just show you them one by one and then we will make one together. I saw this idea on Paper Terrace, Jessica on Paper Terrace, her channel, and I'm going to link her channel and the video where she makes these. She did them for a Halloween journal series. And she got her inspiration from Bex, so I thought how fun would it be to do my spin on these for these Christmas journals. But I definitely want you girls to check out Bex and Jessica at the Paper Terrace. Just think they are so much fun. These are filled with vintage goodies as well as some new items, and they're just made with 5x7 envelopes. Super easy make, and hopefully you will decide you want to make some. Again, this is a perfect craft for whatever theme journal you're working on. It doesn't have to be Christmas. It can be whatever you're working on, and they make really great I feel like for like the back of your journal or the front of your journal or anywhere in between, but I always like to have like a pocket full of goodies for the people that purchase my journals to pull out and use on their pages. Okay, so to get started, I went ahead and just pulled the items I would need. I've already cut them down and all of that, but I will talk about it as I go. The first thing I did on mine, simply because these are, I had purchased some Christmas cards and they have this edge. I would rather it just be a straight edge, so I'm going to cut this off and then glue down the flap here. First step is to, whatever type of envelope you're using, just glue down your flap because you want that to stay closed. All right, and then we are going to stencil our envelope just to give it some dimension. My ink's out. And feel free, if you're doing this, to use the colors that you prefer. I'm making mine red, but obviously for Christmas, the green would look really nice. And my red ink is so juicy, I tell you, it will probably end up all over my hands. This is the first ink pad I've had that's been this ink when I've purchased it. Most of them are nothing close to this. And this ink pad's over a year old too, which I only use it at Christmas time. So I guess as long as you store them properly, they don't really dry out. And then I also, this end will be flipped up, so I flip this over and I stencil on this side too. Most of this is going to get covered up, in all honesty. So this doesn't have to be something you do. If you don't have a stencil, don't feel like you can't make this. You can. I just thought it would just add a neat little dimension to the page. Even if just a little bit of it's poking through, it adds more texture. This is a no-sew project, the way I'm making it. It can be a sewn project, but I thought it would be quick and easy just to make it a no-sew project. All right, so then I take it and I fold it up. And I'm actually gonna take one I've already made and use it as a sort of a pattern to see where I want to put my folds so they're all the same. Doesn't really matter how and where you fold, but I want to be consistent with mine now that I've made them. I want them all to be folded in the same spot. And then I'm going to ink up this edge, One of the other things I like to do is go ahead and put a little notch here at the top so you know it's a pocket. Just try to center it the best I can. Ink that as well. Okay. So I want to layer a piece of music paper down. I feel like music paper goes well with my Christmas theme. But you could also use book pages for this, or just leave the stencil look. And I'm going to go ahead and glue that down as well. Make sure I am in frame. Okay. And then just center that as best you can. Like I said, most of what we just stenciled does get covered up, but I still wanted to do that. What's nice about these, they can also be floating pockets that you paper clip in and you have a really nice journaling spot on the back. The next step is to take your tool, and I just got a really cheap roll of this at Hobby Lobby. It was $1.99 and then half off that because it was in the Christmas section. All right, and I'm going to take my mini stapler, but if you have a regular stapler, that would work too. I like to staple here the top, but not to the one behind it, and that's just because if you don't, the fabric on top kind of puckers and it just looks better, I have found, doing it that way. Now the rest of these, I'm actually going to staple it to this side because we are actually creating our pocket. I do one at the top and one at the bottom here, and then I go ahead and put a staple here at the bottom close to the edge, and then I do the same thing on the opposite side, being aware of the material, trying to keep it as flat as I can while I'm stapling it. So for all essential purposes, we've made our pocket. We've got a pocket here, and then you have a pocket back behind here if you glue this to your page, but I'm actually going to cut this edge off, and we'll have a pocket that's opened up within the envelope here to stuff stuff in. This would make a really good like pen pal mail, happy mail as well. All right, so our next step is to add our rickrack. You don't have to use rickrack, you could use any kind of ribbon. You could probably even use like cardstock, just cut a thin strip of cardstock. Would work just fine as well. Go ahead and glue that down, and then this is when I like to add my little whale tail tab. This does not have to be a part of this. If you don't have a whale tail punch, don't feel like you have to add one. You can always just cut out a rectangle, fold it in half, and use that instead of the whale tail. I'm all about using what you have on hand. Don't feel like you've got to go out and buy all the tools. Journaling's about using what you have on hand. All right, and then I go ahead and I use my eyelet setter, and I punch a hole here because we're going to hang a little charm. I'm going to need that. I might as well get that back out. Okay, so I'm going to get an eyelet. I think I pulled one yet. And just put it in and set it. Again, you don't have to do this. You can just hole punch it and then add your little bulb pin to it with the bell or charm, whatever you have to use. Okay. Let me get one of my little bells over here. Okay. And I'm just going to stick that in there. And you may not want a charm on yours just because it will bulk up your journal a little bit, but I personally like having stuff like this in my journals. Okay. Now I like to go ahead and start stuffing mine only because I kind of want to see what it's going to look like with some of the stuff in it. And then that helps me when I'm making my cluster, get my cluster the way I want it. So let me pull out some little images here to tuck in. Oh, yeah, I think I want to use this one. I really like that image. Postcards would work. Cardstock, decorative Christmas cardstock would work. There's no right or wrong. Any vintage items would be fun for these. The ones I've already made, they have a lot of vintage items in them. Like this is a vintage recipe card. And it's blank, but that gives you an idea of like how I'm trying to pull the reds and the greens on this. And now we get to fill this pocket and decide how we want to do that. All right. And we've got a tally card here. And I don't have to use everything. I mean, that's the other part of this. Like, don't feel like you have to use every little thing I've got pulled here to make this. You can make this your own however you want. I just like them to look full. Okay, so the next step is going to be to use one of these cute little stickers. Not stickers, but stamps. These are actually stamps. All right, just going to use the one there and put that there in the corner. I love quick, easy projects. They're so much fun to work on and make, but yet they have a big effect, and that's what I like. And this is a winter scene in this stamp too. That's neat. Okay, so here's some little extras I have that I want to layer on to make a collage. I'm thinking, as much as I love that Merry Christmas, I'm going to do this because I really like the Merry card, and I want to use that as well. So that's, I think, how I'm going to use my little pieces here. So you guys can see these were really quick to make, quick and easy. Oh, I did not get that turned upside down. I'm almost at the end of my bottle, but I hate to waste glue, so I've been trying to keep it propped up all day over here in my little spools of rickrack to keep it going the right direction. That way the glue will come out when I need it. All right, here we go. All right, so that's our finished product. What do you think? Do you think you're going to try making some of these? In the back has a nice area to journal, lots of little things that can be pulled out, used in the journal. I think these are super cute. Again, don't forget to check out the channels that I'm going to have in my description. Don't forget to keep it cute, keep it crafty, and keep making something out of nothing, guys. Bye.